Hi everybody, today is August the 27th, and as always, we're gonna tell the page story. But again, just like previously, we will talk something about Hanoi first, right? And I'm gonna go to the weather again. Actually, Hanoi is still in the affected area of the storm, even though that now the storm has moved to Laos. So, but then still there's very rain, the weather is still very rainy and it is very cloudy out there. So today I'm still working at home. And you know what? I'm actually feeling very grateful when I walk my dog out this morning when I see all the janitors. They work even in like yesterday in the storm when the storm really affected us all. We have really heavy rain. They're still there, trying to clean up all the muddy area as well as try to all the flood. They just try to clean up everything, and then same thing with this morning as well. So and then they not pay very little. So I feel very fortunate to be able to, to work at home, to stay at home, and then as well as and then still being able to earn the salary that we have. So sometimes I feel like it's very important when we actually open our eyes to the surroundings to see what other people have been doing, and how their life, so that you will be able to see how fortunate you are, just living the life that you are living right now. So right now, so that's the reason. So that's the thing about Hanoi City today. And we're gonna come back to the pen story, okay? So what is this? It's a pen. What do we use a pen for? To write. Now there is a dog inside the room. I want to wait this in front of the dog. What does the dog do? The dog probably will sniff, lick, or chew this, right? Does the dog see this one as a pen? No. So for the dog, this one is not a pen, but for the human, this one is a pen. So who is correct, the dog or the human? The answer is both are correct. For the dog, this one is a chewing toy, while for the human, this one is a pen to write. The dog is correct on the dog one, the human is also correct in the human word. So that is our first lesson, both are correct. Now, let's imagine that there is a table in front of me. So I'm going to put this thing on the table. And then both the dog and I will walk out the room. So inside the room, there'll be no human, no dog, and nothing to interact with this thing. So what does this thing become? It is still a pen or a chewing toy. How it becomes almost nothing, and the ancient wisdom called this one as the emptiness. The emptiness is actually a very magical definition. As we understand the emptiness, we'll be able to achieve anything in our life, just like Ishi Michael Roche applied the emptiness into his business and was able to build a business with revenue of $250 million a year. He's also able to help several refugees. So why is the emptiness? Why is that so magical? So first we're gonna try to understand what the emptiness is not first, okay? So first, the emptiness is not blackness. It's not, it's not whiteness. It's not like a no color, no things, no feelings, no, so no thinkings. No, the emptiness is actually just itself without anything interacting with it. Just like us, when we are by ourselves, we don't interact with anyone. We come back to our true self, and that's what we call the emptiness. So the emptiness is just what we are when there is no one to interact with or nothing to interact with. That's what the emptiness is about. It's not nothingness, okay? Just think about a blank screen, TV screen. So it's just that. It's just that. When there is nothing for us to put on that blank on that TV screen. But then as soon as you put something on that become that thing, whether it's gonna be, movies, a television shows, or a cartoon. So all that is the potential of what they can be. Okay, so the emptiness and the potential. So we see that. You see the link right there. So so the potential is all depending on who or what is interacting with that. Okay, so for instance, like for this thing, okay, so it is when it is by itself, is come back to its true self, we call it the emptiness, right? But as soon as I go back into the room and look at this becomes a pen. When the dog comes back to the room and the dog look at it, this becomes a chewing toy. So when both the dog and I come back to the room at the very same time and we both look at this at the very same time, what does this thing become? Oh, it becomes two things, a pen for me and a chewing toy for the dog. So a single thing, when there is no human, no dog, or nothing to interact with, it comes back to true self. We call it the emptiness. But because it has the emptiness, also has the potential to become anything or anyone, depending on who or what is looking at this at the very moment. That is our second lesson. Along with the emptiness, we all have limitless potential. Now, I see this as a pen. So does this pen coming from me or does this pen coming from the thing itself? This pen is actually coming from me. Why am I so certain? Because if this thing is the pen itself, the dog or anything in this entire universe, we have to see it for what it is, which is a pen. But does the dog see this one as a pen? No. So this pen is actually coming from me. This pen is actually coming from my mind. And everything is actually coming from our mind. So that is our third lesson. Everything is actually coming from our mind. So we all agree that this pen is coming from my mind, right? So I'm gonna change my mind and I'm gonna try to pray, believe that this one become a diamond, okay? So please pray with me. Diamond, diamond, diamond. Open my eyes. It's still a pen. So what in my mind that forced me to see this as a diamond, but not as a pen, but not a diamond. There are it inside our mind that the ancient wisdom calls as karma. When we see something, the seed inside our mind pop up, open up, and cover this and made us see it for what had been planted earlier into our mind. So who planted those seed into our mind then? Only you can plant the seed into your mind, and only I can plant the seed into my mind. How can we do it? We do it by three ways, by our word, by our actions, by our thoughts, especially to other people. So for instance, I'm going to hold on to this. I'm going to say that I have the pen. Would you like to have this pen? And when my friend say yes, please, I'd be so happy to give this to my friend with the hope that I can help my friend. So when I give this to my friend, this palm will open up and both me and my friend will see it and start living mark in my mind. A couple days later, when I see this, I recognize this one as pen, which means that the seed of the pen has already been planted into my mind. And I pop up, open up, and covered this thing and made me see it as a pen, which is this is how a pen become a pen or anything so loud as become what and who they are to the past. In the pen story, there are several meaningful lessons. We went over 4 different lessons, okay? And it's actually going to a series that I'm gonna tell you. So we're gonna lead through one to another, okay? So the first lesson being both correct. So we learn to respect each other. We learn to listen to respect each other opinion first. We learn to respect each other opinion, respect each other choices, and learn to listen to each other with a compassionate heart. But by knowing that both are correct, I think the first lesson we all have to do is that we have to learn to respect ourselves. We have to learn to listen to ourselves, accept it for what we are, for what we are. Respect whatever that decision that we do because we know that there are reasons for us to do that. So once you be able to listen to yourself, to respect yourself, to accept yourself for what you are, that is when you be able to love yourself. And that when with that you be able to do that to everyone or everything surround you. You have to be able to cultivate the love, the peace within you before you're able to give it to anyone. Okay, and with that, when we learn to respect other people, we learn to listen to other people with a compassionate heart. That is when the love gonna grow, and then that is when the happiness gonna come to us. Because in the end, in any kind of relationship, we all want long for being able to listen to be listened to be understood, and to be respected. So we do it for us and we'll be able to give it to other people. And that led us to the second lesson is along with the emptiness, we all have limitless potential. So we learn to trust our potential and the potential of everyone or everything surround us, and we work toward that potential. And the linkage between lesson 1 and lesson 2 is that lesson 1 help us to be able to recognize and accept who or what we are, and that is the emptiness right there. So we learn to accept and respect who we are, who they are, who what they truly are. And then after that, we go to the second lesson, so we be able to see once you accept the emptiness what we truly are without anyone, without anyone interacting with us, we be able to see the potential of whatever that we want the things to be. We want us ourselves to be as well. And that is when we have the motivation, the courage to move forward to our potential. So there are two things, two sides of the coin. The emptiness of that, we accept that, okay? And we go for, and then we also see the potential, the better part. And then, and then going to lesson number 3 is that everything is actually coming from the seed inside our mind. So be 100% responsible to whatever happened to us. And we don't blame anyone because in the end, we are the only one who can plant the seed into our mind. And then, the linkage between the first 2 lessons to this one is that we know that we are the one who create our life, we take charge of our food, fully take charge of our life. So whenever you see the potential, then we move toward that. We aim to work the better part of our life, the life that we want to be. We are capable to do all of that. And then on the other part, we also know that, if there's unwanted thing happen to us, then that is something that depending on what we do in the past, right? So we accept that part, and then we move on to the better part, the better future, the potential, with all the potential. And then the fourth lesson is the lesson with how we're gonna incorporate all the lesson into that lesson so that we would be able to manifest our dream life in a very certain way. So first you have to know what you want in your dream life by apply lesson 1 and lesson 2, seeing the potential and within, right? And then lesson 3 is that we start planting those seeds using our word, our action, our thoughts to other people. So if you want to have a happiness, then we start planting the happiness seed using our word, our action, our thoughts to other people, helping other people to be happier. If you want to have prosperity, then we use our word, our action, our thoughts, helping other people to be more prosperous. And just like that, whatever that you want, making sure that you use your word, your action, your thought to other people, helping other people to get that seed, and that is the best way for you to plant the seed into your mind. And the lesson that I would like to share with you all today is that I want to revisit the lesson from yesterday when I talk about, being mindful. So I feel like for the English part, we actually I always pay attention. A lot of time I do pay attention to what I talk about in English. So I always feel there is some engagement in there, and then things like that the flow of the story get a lot better. I've been more mindful into that story. Why the same thing in Vietnamese. I actually go let the habit let me. So sometimes, I make mistake. So I love that, being mindful is being able to be at that moment, to focus on that thing 100%. And then what being more mindful will give you a better result, whatever it is. And that is a very important lesson that I need to learn, because I noticed that recently, I'm trying, like, there are several tasks keep coming up, and then I'm doing one, and then I stop, and then I move on to the next one. And I feel like in the end, I don't see there's a lot of accomplishment that like complex task that I'm done and everything seemed to be amazed. So I think it's better to just going on to one to another and then just write out this task and cross it. I think that's one of the purpose of people doing the to-do list is that making sure that you being able to be mindful in that one single task at the very moment. So that's the lesson that I would like to share with you all today. Thank you everyone for listening to me. Thank you Anu for coming me through 3,000 day journey. And if by me sharing with you the page story of my lesson is something good, I would like to dedicate that to my dearest family, to my friends, to my coworkers, to my clients, and especially to all the people who got affected by this storm, because I know that with this heavy rains, long and heavy rains, of course, there would be a lot of people get affected, and especially the farmers and in agriculture and the people in the mountainous area, the people in like in the river when the flooded area. So I do would like to send all this all this good deed to them, and hopefully that will sometime something somehow it will alleviate what they are going through. So thank you so much, everyone, and you all have a beautiful day. I see you tomorrow. Bye bye.